Hey, right.
What's happening, everyone? Nick Hilkins, West Ham Fan TV. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. We just played a little intro, but we didn't go live in time, I don't think.
For our own benefit.
I don't know what
We've just come back from the London Stadium, virtually. It was West Ham 2, Villa 1, 5th in the league. Scott, give me the starting lineup, you motherfucker.
Fabianski in goal. my internet. I tell you, my MacBook's updating, so my internet's terrible tonight. Fabianski in goal. Criswell, Ogbonna, Balbuena centre back 3. Masuaku left. Soufal on the right. Rice, Souček, Fornals, Bowen, and then Antonio up top.
Watching Scott's like watching a Bruce Lee film.
Yeah, I know. He's literally like 5 seconds behind. Look, watch. He's gonna. Oh, fucking hell!
Why don't you tether off hotspot off your phone, Scott?
Yeah, you got to do something, man. Sure, I thought you had Virgin Internet. What's this?
Mate, Randy out. Virgin's been an absolute nightmare. Let me cut me off my
pay your bill.
Right,
Yeah,
well, anyway, the starting lineup
Anyway,
for me.
The big talk was the starting lineup. I'll be honest, as I said before, I've said it many times. I'm not a massive Haller fan, but I thought it was wrong. I thought it was wrong to start Antonio straight away. He clearly wasn't fit, and apart from that goal in the first minute, we was up against it because of it.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think I felt a bit sorry for Haller. If Antonio's fully fit, then look, he's our best striker. Then the thing is, Aston Villa would have worked all week on Haller starting up top. So maybe it was a little bit of mind games from David Moyes to chuck him in, because then Aston Villa got to change their game plan. But yeah, I thought it was a bit harsh on Haller, if I'm honest.
And I think it was just poor decision making in terms of for Antonio. Antonio could have gone and got himself injured again because the geezer like these, he was well off the pace. I've never seen him so slow. He was really, really poor in that, and you can just see he's not anywhere near 100%.
There was a couple of times where the ball went over the top, didn't it? And it weren't an Antonio a few weeks ago, fully fit would chase it down, but he just didn't look like he could do that tonight. Maybe he's a bit worried. He's got it in the back of his mind. He's just come back from a hamstring injury. Don't want to overdo it, overstretch. Yeah,
really poor decision. We'll get to the making up of it later on, but it was tough. We got that early goal, which early. We're scoring quite early in a few games this season. I've noticed we're getting that early goal in.
Sometimes we're scoring at different times.
Yeah, sometimes scoring that early, as it showed in the first half, is not always a good thing. No. You listen, I don't care when we score, as long as we win the game. But sometimes it's like, yeah, it was an early goal, and it was a good goal as well because we had a chance just before that, didn't we? Souček. But where's Scott gone? He's had enough, mate.
He's back over there. Oh, sorry.
What's going on?
This is the shittest Bohemian Rhapsody video I've ever seen.
It's like the Brady Bunch. What's he doing? Right. Yeah. So no, it was good to score there. It was a great header from Ogbonna. Like I was saying to Nicky at the time, like his goal scoring record for us is definitely it's got to be up there, isn't it? Like surely. Like I reckon he's got a good few goals for us now. Possibly
think of how many he scored. If he scored 10, I'd be very surprised.
I feel like every time he does score, it's an important goal, though.
Yeah, it's true. He does. He does score.
I'm going to check it. I'm going to check it on Wikipedia.
Have a look because I think he has scored quite a few goals for us now. And great delivery from Bowen and great header from Ogbonna. And from that moment, I felt like early on into the game, we was on top quite a bit. We was creating chances, and then we just drifted out of the game. In that first,
we seem to do that quite a lot, though, don't we? especially against Fulham. We done the same. We started off really well, and then we let Fulham get back into the game and start controlling it. And I think in the first 10, 15 minutes, West Ham sort of kept Jack Grealish quiet. But once they give him that bit of space in that room, and he started finding them little like pockets and playing the 1-2s, that's where Aston Villa started controlling the midfield.
Yeah, and that's sort of like, you know, how we ended up getting his equaliser. I missed it at the time, but I got to see it back, and you know, it was shown, you know, quite a bit of space there to get his shot off. And I mean, it's a great goal. I mean, listen, I'm gonna give him a bit of praise now because I'm gonna tear him to shreds later on. But yeah, fair play. It was a good goal.
Yeah, I mean,
not lucky though, didn't he? Took a massive deflection off of
massive deflection
Did
off
it? Because I didn't see that.
Yeah, deflection off of Ogbonna. But the thing is, like, Souček, you know, let him run off him. And to be fair, like, I'm not going to criticize Souček at all. I think, you know, he's been amazing for us since he come in. But today he had a very quiet game. But I think that's maybe because he weren't allowed to go forward as much because of players like Jack Grealish, McGinn. You know, you allow them, you push too far forward and they get space, they're going to exploit it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think with Grealish he's a fabulous player. Don't get me wrong. He's got that sort of close control and you know, he can go past players and you see some fantastic things from him. He's really letting himself down by doing what he's doing. Like, if he had a bit, he's a tough lad. I mean, he wears his shin pads right on his fucking heels. He wears the tiniest little shin pads he can. He's obviously like fancies himself as a bit of an hard case. I don't know whether he wears them shin pads like that on purpose to show sort of, I don't know, like bits of bruises to the fucking referee and that. But if he had a bit more robustness, if he walked through a couple of them challenges, he'd be such a good player.
Mate, he's an absolute embarrassment to the game. Honestly, I cannot stand him. That Fornals dive that he done, it's an absolute joke. And it's only the second one. I mean, that other dive he did last season, I can't remember who it was when he threw himself on the ground, was the worst dive I've ever seen. That's a contender. I mean, he grabs the wrong leg. He goes down and doesn't even grab the leg that there was contact for. Honest, how is he not getting penalised?
The thing is with that, the thing that disappoints me the most about that, because we'll be talking about VAR in a second, obviously. The thing that worries me about that is VAR looked at that for a possible red card.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because when you look at it back, Fornals did have a little swipe at him, but it was nothing. You know, it's
no, but he didn't have nothing at him. Right? If you're using VAR to look at the swipe, and then you've seen him sort of tap his right knee and he's going down holding his left leg, surely they can turn around and go, hold on a minute. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at that as a possible red card. He's rolling around holding his left leg. I mean, why are they not reversing the decision?
I mean, the stats don't lie. I mean, the referee tonight, I think he got a little bit stage fright with the Sky cameras. He was one of the worst wrestler I've ever seen. Like,
I've never seen him before in my life either.
He had that whistle in his time more times than anything. I mean, you look at the stats here, 20 fouls. There was 27 fouls in the game, and we give 20 of them away. You know what I mean?
I thought that as well. There was a lot of fouls that he missed on our players as well.
Oh, loads. You know, at one point, you know, I thought to myself as he lost his whistle. Because it was ridiculous. I mean, there was one where Haller got cleaned right out in the air and nothing.
What about
I'll see one when Haller was sandwiched between two players. Mings has come over the top of him and he gave a free kick to them.
Yeah. And it could have been a penalty. That's a penalty shout. And the thing is, as well, on the diving, it wasn't just Grealish. That diving, that's rubbed off on the whole team.
Isn't it?
I was seeing him. That Sofal free kick that he gave against the free kick game against Sofal was a disgrace. There was another one on the edge of the box. It is, and they need to clamp down on this.
I think
they were supposed to be doing the retrospective bans.
I think you can always tell by players' reactions, especially our players, when they're all literally laughing at Jack Grealish and just saying to him, "Come on, man, get up." And I'm sure you could hear it off camera. I don't know who said it.
I saw Antonio was giving him stick.
You're embarrassing. You know, it's as Nicky said, he's such a talented player, but things like this is what he's going to get remembered for. Diving, No, you look at that in the second half where he had 4 players around him, he dropped the shoulder, and he lost all 4 of them. Then put in a great ball, and to be fair, someone else on the end of that, that's the equaliser there. That's the Jack Grealish that we want to, not us personally, but that fans should be talking about. Not always diving over and rolling on the floor. You might as well call him calm. He lays on the floor so much.
The media don't talk about it, do they? If he was Spanish, I'm telling you for now, the media would be banging on about his diving. But that's what I'm saying, because he's English, he gets away with it. No one talks about it.
You look at Zaha at Palace, right? The amount of criticism he gets when he's flying himself on the floor. And I'll be honest, he gets kicked a lot more than what Grealish gets kicked.
It's true.
They were embarrassing to the amount of times a Villa player fell on the floor because they felt a little touch. And to be honest, it's because of VAR. This is what it all boils down to. Is because VAR's there. We go back to the Salah incident against Liverpool. They feel a touch, they fall on the floor now.
Scott, the thing is, mate, is that, as I said, the referee's got to be stronger. That shirt pull in the area is not enough for him to go down like that. I mean, the geezer ended up fucking himself because he fell on someone's studs. He went down so quickly. It was too tiny. It's the tiniest little. You look at it at corners. There are people fucking dragging each other down to the floor, and he's took the 2 tiniest little tugs of his shirt. He's chucked himself on the floor. He's looked at that on VAR and said, "Right, yeah, that's a penalty." But he didn't even look at VAR. He give the penalty for that. He give it. It wasn't a VAR decision. He give the penalty. And he got the other end, and Haller's getting fucking sandwiched by 2 of them in the box, and he's give a free kick the other. How can you be so blind?
Mate, if you look at the referee's position on the penalty, he could see that Declan Rice had hold of his shirt. So look, it's not a penalty for me. He's gone down too easy. But
I think it was silly.
Declan Rice is silly there by putting his hand on his shirt, because as soon as you do that, as soon as players feel a bit touched now, they're going to go down. Because even on corners, if you notice now, you see a lot of people when corners come in just go to the floor because they know that VAR will look at it, and 9 times out of 10 now, VAR will find something to give a penalty, and that's the shit thing.
But they're not looking for diving. That's the problem. Is they're not looking at diving. I mean, I see. I was watching the Arsenal game yesterday. I see Traore get booked for diving. On something, and I didn't even think it was a dive. And we're seeing clearly obvious diving, like Salah against us that in that other game, right? And Grealish and all their other players diving, and they're not even looking at it. It's not even being mentioned. They're not even checking for diving. They're just taking it all at face value.
So to be honest, man, if we sat there and checked everything, you can't. Logistically, you can't do that. Yeah.
No, but
if you're checking something and something else comes in within that thing, for instance, they checked the Fornals foul. They checked it. They checked it for a possible red card, but they've. Checking for the red card, they would have seen that Grealish dived. He's going down holding his wrong leg. They should be able to pull that up to the referee and just go, it wasn't a red card.
Saying that
it's a good shout for the VAR ball, but we've just seen him. He's gone down holding the wrong leg. He's trying to cheat you.
So on that principle, are you saying that Fornals should be booked for the foul because it was a foul, but he should also be booked for simulation because he went down holding the wrong knee?
I don't think it was a booking. He's had a little slip. He's come barging into it.
I'm going to be Nick. I'll be totally honest with you, mate. There was a point where I thought the referee was going to give him a red. The way the referee pulled him over, and I thought to myself, hang on a minute. Like when I looked at the replay, and look, there's nothing in it, but you don't know what they're looking at now. They're just looking at anything. So when the ref called him over, I thought to myself, hang on a minute here, he could be off here.
Yeah. Joe, the one that worried me was the Balbuena one. I think it was Balbuena. Balbuena had done a foul. I thought he was going to send him off for that.
You know what? I'll be totally honest with you. I can't believe we're sitting here talking about a 2-1 win, because for me, Villa deserved at least a point tonight. They had better chances. We had 2 shots on target, I think it was, and we scored 2 goals. So,
on the balance of quality, they deserved it, but morally, they didn't deserve shit because they were dirty, grubby cheaters.
I mean, their manager was on the telly. Their manager was on the telly saying about VAR and all that, and I thought to myself, listen, you're only a Premier League team because of VAR. Remember after lockdown when that goal that shouldn't have stood kept him up. So he really needs to keep stum on that.
The thing is, as well, you've got to look at it that if the shoe was on the other foot, we'd be sitting here tonight absolutely fuming.
Yeah, cool.
Apparently, one of our coaches called their players cheats. That Dean Smith said they called them cheats and divers. Apparently, it was Alan Irvine. Yeah. And he's
him and John Terry both got booked, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like Smith, Terry, they should all be embarrassed of their players going out like that. They're honestly horrible team, absolute horrible team, and they've been like it for a few seasons now. Really, I don't care if Villa fans come on here and want to give me shit because you're a dirty, grubby, cheating team, honestly. And it's
horrible when you have a player like that in your team because Liverpool get it as well with Mo Salah. You know, I'd hate to have a player like that at West Ham. But then again, you know, if we had a player like that and he was winning penalties every week and we was winning games, it's one of them ones, isn't it?
I don't think Salah dives nearly as much as he dives a lot, not as much.
But as you said earlier, it ain't just him that you go out the side. Mm-hmm. He's obviously got a lot of influence on the side. It weren't just him. It was what's his name? Is it Traore? Not Traore.
There was McGinn, I think, had a few dives.
It's just so many. Like it's ridiculous. Like, but anyway, they you know they had the referee in their pocket, but I'll mention some praise tonight. I'm going to say big up David Moyes for making that substitution at half time. I thought it was the two substitutions that needed to be done, and I got to say a big special fucking shout out to Haller because I thought he was. I think he started to play the way that we've wanted him to play over the last few weeks. He was putting in effort. He was chasing things down. He was battling back.
He was getting
fired up, didn't he?
He was pressing up higher, and no one was following him.
It was a massive call from David Moyes to make that double substitution at half time because, rightly so, he's been criticised for making late substitutions. But no, I think it was bang on, and the two players he took off as well. I thought, bang on. I thought Antonio had to come off, and Masuaku had a poor first half. So
Antonio was absolutely pointless out there tonight. He done absolutely nothing.
The only positive is he got a little bit of match fitness.
Yeah.
Personally, I would have swapped it round. I would have started Haller and then brought Antonio on for the last 20-25 because, especially the way the game went, where we were in front and holding on, having Antonio on that counter attack in that last 20 minutes would have been devastating.
Yeah, but then sometimes, you come on and, it could work the other way. That's the sort of time when players pull their hamstrings when they come on and they overstretch because, they're trying to chase the game or whatever. But no, I mean, Ben Rama come on and straight away impact,
Once again.
I'll be honest, he didn't do much in the game in the second. He done a lot of running and sometimes he give the ball away. And I don't know whether that's, obviously he hasn't played a lot with some of these players, but the first thing he does is he puts the ball into a dangerous area and it gets flicked in by Bowen. And, we're 2-1 up.
And the thing is, I just think where we was playing, we was sitting so deep, we was inviting them on. I think at that point, it just wasn't really the game fit that moment. It just didn't work in his favour because we were so deep. We did invite him on so much.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see that when he come on, if Bowen doesn't get that
header, Haller does.
Haller's there, and Ben Rama's going to supply a lot of service. That's what 3 sub appearances, 2 assists, if I'm not mistaken.
2 sub appearances, 2 assists. Yeah.
So he's looking for a Haller as well. But that ball into that box wasn't for Bowen. That ball into that box was for Haller.
And they headed it as well. Did you see it? At the same time Bowen did, he went like that.
And that's what Ben Rama does. That's what he used to do a lot of Brentford. Is get the ball and then look for that, roll it over, and then look for that little flick over. Sometimes he'll look to go himself and go find that top corner. But fair play to him. It's hard to come on, especially as a half-time sub and try to make an impact. And he done it straight away. They both did. Haller had a bit of fire in his belly tonight. He looked like he wanted to be there, and he had something to prove. He's probably thinking, right, Antonio's back now. I've lost my place. Now when I get a chance, I've got to try to get him out of the team.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, I think he was a bit fired up because looking at that, like, that must have been a kick in the teeth when he got dropped and he's seeing Lafarge Antonio pet jog around.
I'll be honest with you, Dan. When they walked out for kickoff, he had a smile on his face. He didn't look disappointed.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, so Yeah, I know he gets a lot of criticism about his attitude and that, but he didn't. Obviously, he's upset and gutted about not playing, but he didn't throw his toys out his pram and go and sit straight on the bench and fold his arms. And...
What did you think about the formation change to a back four? Because obviously, you know, we haven't seen that in a long time, you know, playing that formation. And obviously, when he makes a double substitutions and takes Masuaku off, he goes back to a back four, which was quite interesting. You know, and ultimately we get the goal, but then you're a bit worried at the same time because of we're inviting him on so much and we haven't got that extra defender.
I'll be honest, when I looked at the formation change, I would have liked to have seen this guy a little bit narrower, because I think although they had a lot of joy on the wings, the midfield was overrunning us. Like Grealish was cutting in a lot, he was getting a lot of space in the centre. And we needed to sort of tighten that up a little bit. But listen, it's you know.
The thing is that's what the change for bringing Noble on was to try and solidify that midfield a bit, because they were running through us at times. I didn't feel Creswell felt comfortable playing left back with Ben Rama in front of him. There was a few times you see it where he's sort of shouting at Ben Rama to get back and help him out because he was getting doubled up on. That's the only thing we're going with. That's the risk we're going with that back four. But you know, we saw that game. Abona again was superb and was solid. And you know, with it, and him and Balbuena, we now got a decent partnership going.
Yeah, Creswell again, another comfortable game.
Yeah. I thought he made a few mistakes in there. That was just a little bit. There was a bit one to the end of the game. He makes a really good sort of a tackle interception to take the ball out, and then he gives it away quickly rather than just get it out. He dwindles on the ball a bit too long and loses it.
Foul, another solid game. Thought he dealt with Grealish quite well. He didn't get involved in Grealish's games. I know I said at the beginning of the show about Souček didn't have a great game, but Souček still made some very important blocks in that game, especially in our box. And look, he's not going to be a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 every week. We know that. But fair play to the team. I mean, we didn't have a great game, you know.
I don't think it was Rice's best game.
No, it wasn't Rice's best game. Owen, apart from the goal, there was a couple of times where I thought he ran it out of play, he kept falling over his own boot. It was going to be one of them nights. But these are the sort of games that over the past few seasons, we'd have lost that tonight. We'd have conceded 2 late goals and lost that. But, you know, that's just the thing. That's the signs of a good team, that you can play bad and still win, because when we do play good, we're going to smash. We're going to not smash teams, but we're going to win comfortably.
We've got to sort it out for next week. If we play like that in midfield next week, them midfielders next week will overrun us, and there will be no way back.
Man United is a different kettle of fish, isn't it? I mean, they're going to be a totally different setup to the last 3 games. No disrespect to Fulham, Sheffield United, and Villa, but Man United have got quality in their team, especially like players like Fernandes. So yeah, we've got to be on it. But
they will get a penalty against us.
Yeah, well, I mean, talking of obviously penalties, Ollie Watkins, with two incidents tonight. I mean, the first one was obviously the penalty. It's do you know what they were saying about it? I was thinking to myself, he ain't scoring this, because the night he was having, you know, it was just going to be one of them. He was. And yeah, he's had a proper shit night with what went on in the end. But yeah, that penalty, he didn't look comfortable. You know, Fabianski's made himself look big. Look, if he rolls it on the floor, he sent Fabianski the wrong way, but he's tried to put it top corner and he's hit the bar.
The thing is with that penalty, I think if you watch it back, you see Ben Rama shouting to him where he's going to put it.
Yeah.
So you see him telling him like, he's going bottom right. So it's obviously like Ben Rama and Watkins would have been out on that training field at Brentford for many, many, many hours, taking penalties and free kicks and all of that sort of thing. And so he's obviously knows he's got a favoured side. And I'm wondering whether Ben Rama just he's going to the bottom right, has made Watkins think twice. Yeah. And he's sort of hasn't decided where he's going to put it until that last minute.
I was thinking that, because when you take penalties, you know your side, you never change it. But when they put up the stats just as he took it, he's missed 3 out of his last 5, I think.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
he didn't look confident, and yeah, it's hit the bar, and then it's gone up in the air, and I think their player run into Suchet, and we end up getting a free kick. And then they looked here that Fabianski might have been off his line, and maybe Declan Rice run in the box too soon. But as they said on commentary, if Declan Rice wins that header, they would have made him retake that penalty.
Yeah.
And even with Watkins' goal that was disallowed, you when you watch back, listening to what Carragher was saying, it's technically a foul by Ogbonna on the edge.
I was looking at it. I thought they were going to give that because he's got his arm around him.
Yeah, but the foul was outside the box, so it would have been a free kick, not a penalty. So, but that's the thing. I think Carragher hit the nail on the head when he said VAR takes so long looking at the incident, they miss the other things that are happening around it.
That's what I was going to say earlier. Yeah,
you can't. If you're looking for offside, Scott, right? And this goes back to my last thing, right? If that's been flagged up as that's a possible offside, yeah, then what's the difference between looking at that, yeah, and then going, hold on a minute, he's not offside, he's offside, but there's a foul in a build-up, to looking at the possible red card and saying, hold on a minute, it's it's a yellow, but he's cheating because he's getting. What's the difference?
Yeah, Carragher didn't mention that, did he? Like, there's no mention of that.
That's the thing.
If you're going to look at two incidents in one for that sort of thing, and you're gonna spot other things going on there, you slow down any part of the game, you'll see something going on somewhere. You know what I mean? So, like, if he's pulled it out, and let's be fair, I'm not a big fan of that. The way they're drawing him lines and all of that sort of thing, armpit and all of that sort of nonsense. You know what I mean? Like in other games, I promise you, that Watkins goal for me should have stood, because it's not clear and obvious. You can't judge someone's armpit against someone's knee.
Yeah, they're looking at where the sleeve. So for me, that's ridiculous. If he's got long sleeve shirt on, then he's definitely offside. For me, if I was a striker, I'd be playing the string vest.
So right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You can't score with your arm, so your arm should not be. Look at that the other week when who was it? Was it Bamford at Crystal Palace?
Yeah,
when he's pointing where he wants the ball, and they've give offside because he's put his hand up. What are these strikers meant to do? I mean, look, as a West Ham fan, I'm glad they've found something in that VAR to give him offside.
I said that, right? I said that. I can't sit here and say, I can't sit here and say all that one week, and then next week we get the decision, and I say, yeah, actually it is. But as I said to Dan, I don't agree with it. I think that should have stood. If as I said before, if a man's sleeve is past a man's knee, you cannot see that with a naked eye. It's impossible. Like, you need robots to be seeing this, and we need. If they want to go in that direction, then they need some sort of automated system, because a man can't see that sort of thing. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I'll be an hypocrite if I sat here and slagged it off one week and then said I'm spot on. But if they're fucking having them, if everyone else is having them, I'm having it. Yeah, simple as that.
Exactly, it's the right decision because it's been made. That's been made in other games. So if they weren't going to give it, and they give it in other games, it's wrong.
When it's for you, it's a good decision. When it's against you, it's a terrible decision.
Yeah, we had some shitty ones last season. I mean, the one that sticks out for me, you look at Declan Rice, Sheffield United away. Yep. We've had so much VAR go against us. It's nice sometimes when it goes for you, but that luck will run out. If that was down the other end and we just thought we equalised in the 92nd minute, like we did against Sheffield United, but that way, and we was given an offside for that, and that was like Bowen or Antonio or someone, I'd be fuming. I would be fuming.
In the comments saying here, offside is offside. Listen, offside is offside. You are correct. But if you need a fucking a computer to see it, then it's not. That's that. You've got to, the thing is, right? You can't keep on relying on the computers. You've got to draw a line in the sand where you've got to say, right, can a fucking human being see this? Because that's who's meant to be doing it. It's not meant to be a computer. You go over the park on a Sunday, or not even a park on a Sunday. You go into the lower league. You go into the championship. It's a man and his eye that can see it. Like, and if you need to be drawing, if you need to be getting out your parallelograms and your fucking compasses to see if a man's sleeve is past a man's knee, you can't physically. There is no possible way.
Could you imagine
in a million years.
Could you imagine if this was in the early 90s with the big sleeves? Everyone would have been offside every week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no possible way anybody can see that. So offside is offside. But if you need a fucking supercomputer to fucking draw lines on the screen,
it's the problem is the system works. It's just for some reason our rules are broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, I don't care. It's karma. They tried to cheat, and what happened? They got stitched up there for VAR.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a tough one to take if you're connected with Aston Villa, but as West Ham fans, like,
good. I'm glad they're fuming. I'm glad they're sitting there and fuming because they're going to sit there and overlook the absolute disgrace.
I'll tell you what I did like about tonight's game, though, was you had two teams that both struggled last season, but this season, they've obviously with both teams have improved. We're both at the right end of the table. You got two British managers, going for it. There was a lot of good talent out there tonight, young players, and there was like tackles going in, and apart from the obvious like Grealish and that, it was a good game of football. I thought it was frustrating, but it was a good game of football.
I'll tell you what the difference is, right? Though one of those managers has spent a fortune and one hasn't. That's the difference. And one of those managers is sitting fifth, and one of them is not. So shows you got to give credit to Moyes. And this is the point I was trying to make on Friday Night Pint. Because I see this a lot of talk. From fans like Arsenal and that, and they're talking about how Arteta hasn't got this player, he hasn't got that player. So you got to give him some credit for being 14th and all this shit, whatever. But look at Moyes. How can you sit there and say that Moyes right now? How can you sit there and say he's not a better manager than Arteta? Because a lot of them wouldn't say he's a better manager than Arteta, but he's doing a lot more with a lot less. He hasn't got a Aubameyang. He hasn't got the Gabriel or a Pepe. No, but but that's what I'm saying. He's got all of that attacking talent, all of that talent, and look what Moyes has got, and he's doing more. Except no one's going to praise him, but everyone and the media was all up Arteta's ass. That just goes to show you.
I think you're right. I think Moyes deserves a lot of credit, as we said before. When he's come into this club, the last two times he's taken over someone else's team midway through a season. We're usually down the bottom. He's got a job. He's got a pressure to get us out of it. This season, he's had not a full pre-season, but he's had a beginning of the season. We started off shit against Newcastle, and then everyone's thought, that's it now. We're going to struggle this season. We went to Arsenal, we played well, but we lost. Ever since then, it's just going the right way, and the team is starting to click. And we've been lucky with injuries. I'm not going to lie, but we deserve a bit of luck. This club, this team.
You say that, but we lost one of our most important players to a hamstring injury in Antonio. He was our top scorer. So I don't think we've been too lucky.
Really, because as you said, we only lost Antonio, and it was in national breaks. So he's only missed 3 games. Over previous seasons, there's been times where we've had 2 or 3 key players out at one point.
Yeah, we're grinding out results when we're not playing well, which is the key thing for us. Normally when we don't play well, we get a tonking, and we're showing now that we are a lot more organised, a lot more well drilled. There seems to be an idea around the club now. Everyone knows their job. Everyone knows how they're meant to.
An identity now. The backroom staff. That's a major thing is having a good backroom staff, because he's got people behind him that can get the players up for it as well. And you've brought someone in like Kevin Nolan, ex-captain, knows the club, knows some of the players there. He was only playing with them a few years ago, and that's a massive thing. And I know there's still people out there that don't like David Moyes, and I've seen a few people go quiet, and they're waiting for us to go on a 2 or 3 game winless streak, and then they can come back out and start slating him. But at least with some people, they can praise him. They can want to be proved wrong.
But the whole club needs, like, playing wise, the whole club needs. They're talking about Chelsea being title contenders. We're sitting 2 points behind Chelsea, same amount of games played.
I like it though. Let us go under the radar. I like it.
Yeah,
they're not talking about us.
We're all sitting here talking about. We've had some good wins this season as well. Like Leicester away 3-0. That's a good one. I know Fulham have just gone there and beaten, but that's a good win. They beat some good teams, Leicester. The Wolves 4-0 game. Wolves are no mugs. There have been some real good performances. As you say, like, these are the times where you know, we sort of let ourselves down normally against the Fulhams and the Sheffield Uniteds and the, you know, not Villa because they're up there as well, but you know, them sort of games, and we've played poorly and won. That the thing is, now we need to if we can step up against Manchester United, and then we can still go and have a look at the next few games. Don't forget, we've had a tough run of fixtures at the beginning of this season. A tough run of fixtures. To be in this position right now, the whole club needs praising. It does. It really does. Because I'll be honest with you, and listen, please come and tell me if you foresaw at the beginning at the end of the Newcastle game when we lost 2-0, have you foresaw us being in this position at this time? Because I certainly didn't.
No one did.
People that sit there and fucking slag me off about, you said we was going to go down and all that. I want to see your comments at the end of that game, because the only difference between mine and yours is mine are on record, and you know, there was nothing in that game. I saw nothing in that game to suggest we was going to do anything other than struggle. But
I wouldn't go as far as praising the ball from top to bottom. I still don't.
Ball.
I still think
you said ball.
Yeah, you said club from top to bottom. They're the top, Nick.
Playing wise, Dan. Playing wise, not
the team.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just watching out for your back, Nicky, because you'll have a few people calling you.
The thing is as well is that, like today, like I was sitting there thinking, you know, these are the sort of games, you know, will we bottle it, having a chance to go fifth? And you go back to that season under Pellegrini when we had Palace at home and we could have gone, I think it was fourth that day, and we bottled it and we lost 2-1. I know, obviously, Roberto was in goal and that, but we lost to a late goal, and then after that we declined. We started going down the table. But tonight, you know, we've stuck with it. We've grinded out this result. We didn't probably deserve the win, but we've won. We've got 3 points, and we're sitting fifth in the table now. And look, we're only 4 points off top. Look, I'm not going to say we're going to win the league. I'm not saying we're going to get Champions League, but we're in a good position now. We haven't got pressure on us going into Christmas to pick up key points to think, oh, we're struggling down the bottom. You know, we're at the wrong end of the table. So it takes a bit of pressure off us, and it allows our players now to express themselves a bit more on the pitch.
The thing is as well, when you look at that tough run of fixtures we had at the start of the season, these were the games that we were pointing out, saying, right, these are our rivals for next season. These are the teams that we need to make sure we get points against.
The run of fixtures we just had, Scott, is where we all said this is where our season's going to start.
Yeah, and we picked up 9 fixtures, 9 points, Fulham, Sheffield United and today, and that's what we needed.
Now we're 11 points, away from the relegation zone, which is big, because that's where, even though we're fifth, I'm still looking there because I just want us to keep putting as much distance between us and the relegation zone as possible. And have a comfortable season.
It's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame that we didn't start that way, because we if we'd have picked up them 3 points against Newcastle, we'd have been third in the league now, sitting 1 point behind the top.
Yes, it's one of those. But again, I think that's the only game that we lost, that we played poorly in. That we lost.
I think there's 2 games this season where we've played really shit, and I mean that was Everton away in the cup and Newcastle at home for me in the league. Yeah. All the other games we've been in it, and we lost to Anfield late on. Man City, we had a good point there. We was 3-0 down with 8 minutes to go against Tottenham, and we come back and drew 3-3. It's a crazy season, but one thing I want to say is, with tonight's game, do you think if that was a packed stadium and we was playing like that, we would have seen that game out?
I said this, and this is the thing. This is the thing I wanted to get onto as well, because obviously we're starting to see the re-entry, as they say, of fans. Now, you've been at the London Stadium. We've all been at the London Stadium at some points. 1-0 up, and then we've done this quite a few times at the London Stadium. 1-0 up, retreat into our shells. Now, Villa get a goal. They look on top. They look more likely to get the next goal. The fans would have been as fucking nervous as anything.
Yeah.
Then they would have been on their backs. They would have been shouting and hollering. I think that sort of sometimes that transfers to the players. But as I say, there's, there's a strangeness about this season.
I don't like it. I don't like that all that talk, because I think a lot of these big teams that are doing poor are using it as an excuse for why they're doing poor, of going, it's a crazy season, there's no fans, that's why we're shit. I actually see people make an excuse for why Arsenal are playing so bad at home is because there's no fans in the Emirates.
Well, the thing is,
I'm sorry, how do you notice the fans in the Emirates?
I think they said on Sky before the game that there's been 97 games without fans and there's been like 45 away wins. So it does show you that there is an effect of not having fans there. But yeah, I'm with you. I think footballers should be able to play with fans and without fans, and it shouldn't really affect you. I mean, Arsenal wasn't moaning about fans when they beat Man United 1-0.
Not moaning about fans when they beat us.
Yeah. That's me. And I think it takes away a bit of some of the credits from the players, to say that we're only good. Not say we're only good, or the reason that one of the big reasons we're doing so well is because there's no fans there. It takes away some of that credit and some of that shine from the players, and I think the players have to have a lot of respect, and the manager have to have a lot of credit for why we are where we are. And it is. You can probably speculate and say, well, it could be a contributing factor. There's no fans, but you can't measure that, and I would rather look at what we can see and what we've seen on the pitch. And the problem is we deserve to be where we are.
Yeah. What you don't want is that fans start coming back and West Ham don't win a few games, and then people start going, "Oh, look, it's because the fans are there." Because that's nothing to do with it. I don't think. I think the players deep down they want to see the fans back. Souček, we see him play he played against Arsenal away, didn't he, last season? And I think that's the only time we've ever seen him play in the flesh.
Yeah.
So we want to see him. We've never seen Soufal play. We want to see our signings.
Well, that's the thing. That first game with a full crowd, it's going to be like another debut for the three of them when you look at it, because we've not seen two of them play, and then we've seen them a little bit.
When they walk out that tunnel to 60,000 people singing Bubbles, that'll know. Yeah, I'm at West Ham now, because they're for them. I mean, it's like pre-season, isn't it? Really, I know they're Premier League games, but with no crowds there and that, it must be a weird experience for some of these players.
Yeah,
definitely. That's the thing. You've got to think some of them players haven't played with that small amount of people around them in the stadium since they were probably kids. Or under 23s, that sort of level.
Somebody just said in the comment, Nicky doesn't want to hear this fans in the stadium talk. Listen, mate, as soon as it's safe, I want everyone to be back. I want to go back, but I don't want to go back. But we get back. But anyway, it does. Listen, I think it makes for a more interesting game. That's for sure.
Joe, they text me today, West Ham, right? Saying if you want to opt out of being into the ballot for the Man United game, you need to complete a form by 11 a.m. They text me at 10:15. So I'm at work and I don't see the message till 11:30.
No, I didn't get that because I'm not on the
I think
option
the
one.
thing is though, Scott, if you're lucky enough to get it, mate, go.
Do you know what? I'll go just to tell you. Well, no, I'm not around anyway, so I can't go. So I would have opted out.
What are you moaning for then?
Oh no! If I had got picked, I'm going to go to tell you how bad it's going to be.
You got to be very lucky to get picked. I think there's a lot of.
How do you know if you're going to get picked?
You get an email, didn't you? Is it tomorrow or Wednesday? They do it.
Did you fill out your form, Scott?
No, that's what I said. I didn't see the message, so I didn't get a chance.
So you could have been picked.
I might be picked, yeah, but I'm not here anyway. So.
Tell you what, you got to be fucking lucky to get picked in. You're out of that. But look, as I said on Friday Night Pint, for me personally, I don't really want to go back at the moment. But people that want to go back, I hope they get their tickets. I hope they're lucky enough to go.
I'll be honest. If I had seen the message, I would have opted out.
Scott, I think if you've been picked, I think you've got to go just to give us the experience.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I said. I said I'm not around anyway, so I'm not going to be going even if I do get picked. But if I got picked, I would go and I would film as much of it as I can just to show you what it's like on a match day, what they want. You know, even if you're going with people from your own household, you can't sit next to each other.
Imagine it was the bollocks. Imagine Nicky's face. They could be everything.
The best thing ever. But do you know what makes me laugh is that because of the whole situation as well, there ain't no way you're gonna be able to shift that ticket on.
Oh no.
They're gonna be fucking checking your ID, you fucking underneath your ball bags. They're gonna be checking your DNA out your arsehole.
Yeah, if I get picked, I'm going to have to sit there and ring the club and sit there and try and sit on hold for God knows how long.
I think it would definitely be easier to get a ticket the second game than the first game, because I think a lot of people will be buzzing to try and get it for the first game, for the novelty, and then after they've been, they'll be like, I'll just go back to watching it indoors.
Yeah.
And then there might be another.
I think a lot of people that are fucking desperate to go back have got a very different idea of what he's going to be like in their heads than what he's actually going to be like.
Yeah. When you see
like up the boozer, fucking milling around the stadium like a normal match day, just a couple less people. It's gonna be like going Westfield for the day. You know, like when you go there when on one of them days we go to a shop. You got to go to the shop. It's gonna be like one of them days.
Mate, there'll probably be more people in Westfield than the London Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have to wear a mask the whole time you're there, unless you're eating or drinking.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous because you're outside and you're not sitting anwe're near anyone.
If I get picked, I'm taking the biggest bucket of popcorn I can buy at the stadium, and I'll eat it. Wear a mask, mate.
You don't have to take it, Scott. You can buy one in there.
Nah, take it, Scott, because it's rip off.
You'll see me. I'll walk in every seat with like just crisp.
Imagine Scott turning up to London Stadium with what do you call it, a skip full of popcorn. But anyway,
we're going to be outside doing fan cams. No.
No, we won't. Why not, Scott? Why get Scott on the fan cams? You know what I mean?
That's true. We're going to film it and microphone it.
I've done it.
You won't be able to do fan cams. You've got to stay 2 meters apart or whatever.
Yeah.
Arsenal fan TV do it.
And to be fair, I wouldn't want someone coming to stand next to me spitting and talking in my face like that. But
I know. I'll be honest with you. Like, I love doing fan cams. Yeah, I'm doing it for a long time. For a long time, when people were angry and they're having a go at you in the microphone, I've had a couple of spit in the eye, spits in the mouth. You know what I mean? I've had that before.
Oh man.
Yeah, you just get it. You just have to try and work around it. It's a professional. You've got to work around it.
But, yeah, I mean, quickly going back to the game, who was your man in the match?
Fabianski for me.
Oh, he made we didn't even talk about that save that he made. You know,
what one? The one that was going wide.
Yeah.
Well, the one they said was going wide, but still, like, I don't care. You don't take that chance. I thought it was curling in. Personally, I thought that was curling in. Even still, the reaction from Fabianski to save it, I would rather he tries to save that than doesn't and just trust that it's going wide. Because again, I thought it could have been curled.
I think if he because that was the one that was that cross that was sort of in no man's land, weren't it? And he backed off instead of coming for it. I think he made the right decision because I think if he comes for that, it's a goal. If I'm honest.
Yeah. I'm going to go for Ogbonna. I think he had a solid game tonight. Great finish, great game. I think Fabianski or Ogbonna for me would be up there. But yeah, I'm going to go for Ogbonna.
I'm with you, Ryan. Ogbonna for me as well. I thought again he led the line really well.
I would go Fabianski just because the only thing with Ogbonna, and it hasn't come to cost, but they could have given that as a penalty. Like it was, I think, a bit silly to put his arms around him. I mean, obviously, it would have been a free kick just outside the box, but he does that a few times and he gets away with it a bit, just that a bit too much of a grabbing.
The one thing I didn't mention when we were talking about VAR, St. El Carragher he said when you used to have a penalty, the foul for a penalty normally was worse than what you see out on the outfield. If you get what I mean, you wouldn't if a player clashes boots, you wouldn't normally get a penalty. And even the Oggy one, it was a foul, if it was given, but
it would have been a free kick.
It was a soft foul again. Do you know what I mean?
Anyway,
I think you need to try and cut that out a bit, that grabbing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard for defenders because you got to think a lot of the time you're always running the opposite way to where the attacker's going. So it's a lot harder for defenders.
Mm-hmm.
5th in the table, happy days.
Happy days.
Grumble with that.
Cup draw as well today. Stockport away.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Okay, that'll be
No, we've been Stockport once.
Yeah,
that was a very good night.
Yeah,
one of the best home goals ever.
God got wet.
That was
really wet.
But you know what I mean. It's always exciting in the FA Cup draw. You know, we all moan sometimes. Oh, it hasn't got, but we all sit there waiting for that 3rd round draw, don't we? See who you get. That's a good thing about the cup draws.
And to be fair, it was quite a good draw. You know, it was
quite
a decent 3rd round.
Look at the team that Tottenham drew. Can't even think of their name now. Marine, yeah. Marine. And then you've obviously got Bournemouth beat Canvey tonight, so they're going to play Millwall in the Championship. No, that's what we love about the FA Cup. It throws up these sort of ties. And look, listen, West Ham, look, we've definitely got enough quality to beat teams like this. But sometimes on a cold January, some of these players ain't up for it. They're getting kicked about the park. No, that's what happens.
I feel sorry for these teams, though, because that's the time where, with the FA Cup and these draws, having fans there and getting packed crowds and stuff like that.
They probably will be out. They probably will have a good crowd there, wouldn't they? If you can have 2,000 back, I'm not sure what their capacity is, but yeah, they're definitely fans.
I remember correctly, I think it's like 10.
Yeah, but aren't they in tier 3 at the moment? That area
might be. Yeah. I think it is.
There'll be no one.
What the tier situation is and things like that. And the thing is, it's obviously only going to be home fans. I think a lot of these smaller teams would have preferred to come to the bigger grounds. You know, like grounds like ours.
I'll be totally honest with you. I hope there ain't fans there. It'll probably be a better game for us, and we're probably. But yeah, someone's just said there Wimbledon. You know, AFC Wimbledon the other year. Spring to mind, but.
The thing is, if you think like the likes of Stockport and all that, right? If they're in the area, they're in the tier where it's 2,000, and by the time the game comes about, London's in the area where you can have 5,000. It would have suited them financially to come and play us at our place, not us travel up there. You know, because it would have the percentage of the crowd money that they would have got.
I do like it when like little clubs do that. Because it gives them like a team like Marine, you know, if there was fans in the stadium, they would probably like to sort of swap their advantage for money. But I'd much rather them bigger teams go to them smaller grounds.
Oh yeah, because that's
that makes sense. Like because that's where you get it. Yeah.
Well, it gives these Premiership players a wake up call, doesn't it, to show how lucky they are to play in big stadiums week in, week out with big changing rooms and facilities. And then again, probably Stockport have probably got a better training ground than us. So
yeah.
All right, let's leave it there because I promise you I'm going to nod off in a minute.
Yeah, that was an exhausting game. I've got to do these fan cams still.
Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint. You can join us on Patreon now by clicking the link in the description down below. You can also pick up our new merchandise, which I've got one on here. The Claret and Blue Army range is on there now. There's Christmas jumpers on there now. And I know we just had a Black Friday sale, which extended over the weekend. So thank you to everyone that bought something over the Black Friday weekend. But you can get these now for Christmas. They can come in time. Order them now. They come in time for Christmas. So you've got to get your Christmas presents. Go and click that link in the description down below. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Anything else left to say, boys?
High five.
Just one thing.
We waited a long time to say that. We ain't been up the dizzy heights of 5th before in a long time.
Anyway, thank you so much. Go and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and all the good places, social media places. Follow us all. Do you want to give a likes rating, Dan? I know you like to do this at the beginning. Go on, I'll let you pick one tonight.
We always forget about this, don't we? I don't know. We're about to see if we can get 1,000. Bloody hell.
Yeah, 1,000 likes. 1,000 likes on it.
we didn't check the last video we did, Nick, to see how many likes
No.
we got on that. But yeah, we'll
Well,
get fans. We've
there's
got to remember doing that.
578 people watching this, so if they all click like now, that'll make it go right
Yeah.
up.
Click like now and see if we can get to 1,000 likes.
But thank
That
you
little
very much for
thumb
joining
up
us.
thing.
One thing left to say, lads. 5th in the table. Come on,
Come on,
you.
you.
Come on, you are.